It's your boy, Eric, and welcome back to another episode of the On the Move podcast. Wow, I have been looking forward to this. I have had a big break when it comes to uploading episodes here for many weeks now. We're coming to the end of August. The summer has been amazing. And I'm a married man. I'm a married man. It sounds unbelievable to say it out loud, but yeah. And I just happen to be married to the most amazing wife there could ever be. So I'm super happy, super grateful, and life is good. Life is good. But it's the weekend. So should we start off the weekend with a big breath? As always. Nice. Anyway, this year I have really been stretching myself into new territory. I have been doing things that I've never done before. For example, starting this podcast, I have been really stretching my comfort zone and doing very uncomfortable things that I've been scared of doing, which is why I want to take this episode and talk about fear, because it's something that we all can relate to, being scared of things, and it's very natural. And that's just the thing. Fear is very natural. And I've understood this on an intellectual level. I've heard it before. But the intellectual level, it's up here in your head. I've never really felt that fear is okay until now. And it's such a relief that I can't even explain it, but it feels so good. And it's mainly because I started pushing my comfort zone, of course, which doesn't feel good at all. Like fear sucks. It really sucks. And understanding fear makes things a whole lot easier. But in the beginning, it's hard to understand it. But let's talk about fear. First of all, yes, it's very natural to feel fear. And that's a good thing. Fear is part of you and it's there as a tool. It's not something that we should try to avoid. It's there to guide us and to tell us something that's that we can use, that's beneficial for us. Many times when we face something that's scary, a lot of processing of this event that we're trying to get ourselves into, it's happening on an intellectual level. And it's because we haven't asked ourselves enough times, what is it that we actually want? What is it that we actually want? Not what we think other people want or what we think that we have been learned or taught to want. And just sitting in this thought for a while can do a lot of things for you. It can make you realize what it is that you actually want to go for and then take a small step towards that. Because obviously going for a huge leap, the first thing you do when you realize that you actually want to do something might feel very overwhelming, and your alarm system, your internal alarm system goes off, and all this fear is just taking full control over you and nothing gets done. The fear is not supposed to be in control. Let's say you're driving a car, you're the one in the driver's seat, you're the one in control. And it's the same thing in your life. You are the one in control. And the fear is supposed to sit in the back seat and just be there in case something pops up. Maybe you're not looking at the road or whatever, you're distracted. and then fear is there to tell you, hey, watch out. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have something extra there to protect us from danger. But danger and fear, they are two very different things. Actually crashing your car, that's very dangerous because you're actually risking your life. But being scared of sitting in the driver's seat and then driving, that's not danger. That's fear. It's a feeling. It's a learned mechanism in our bodies. But danger could be almost crashing a car. That's different. So we have to understand this, that just because we are scared of something, it doesn't mean that we're going to die. It doesn't mean that we are going to be hurt. And just thinking about this makes you realize that, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it is okay to feel fear. Maybe it is okay to feel all of these things that I don't like, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's not dangerous. So think about that for a second. So try and remind yourself every now and then that you shouldn't confuse the two, danger and fear. Learn to be okay with it. And that's practice. It's like a muscle, really. You gotta work out to build muscle. You gotta put some stress on it and it will grow. And it's the same thing whenever you're trying to do something new or stretch your comfort zone, it's going to be the same thing. When it comes to working out, for example, let's say you never go to the gym and you want to go there and do a really good exercise. There might be fear that tells you to not go to the gym, and that's totally fine. But don't let it bother you. Just be okay with it. Like, imagine if you could feel the fear and just sit and be with it. Wouldn't that be nice? You're in complete control and the fear is just there. It's just there. It's not there to judge you, and you're not supposed to judge fear. It just is what it is. It's a feeling. And it's a feeling that's very natural to pop up. What's not natural is to stay in fear. And that's what happens to a lot of people, that they stay in the state of fear. And I mean, doing that will cost you a lot of time. That's for sure. Because if you live in fear constantly, it will pull you back from actually exploring new things and growing in those areas where you want to grow. This is something that I've had to learn, really, really learn. Because whenever I've felt fear, I've tried to hide it. I've tried to fight against it. Because I didn't like feeling fear. Totally normal. But you shouldn't fight fear. You should be with it, learn it, use it. That's where all the magic happens. When I was starting this podcast, I was scared shitless. Really. And before every episode, I'm still a bit nervous. I still wonder what I'm going to say. But that's because I'm trying to find security in my planning. I'm saying all these things in my head before I start an episode, that maybe I should say this and maybe I should say this. And when I start an episode, I forget all of those things and I just say things that come from my mind. But so this type of planning didn't really matter too much. But what I was trying to do was, because I felt fear, instead of being confident to 100% and just trusting that whatever I do with greatness, I tried to find the security somewhere else. in planning or in positive comments or in motivation, all of those things and more. And that's a fight against the principle of fear, which is just not working. It just doesn't work. It just creates more resistance and more tension and more stress, really. I have really been that kind of person that tries to plan everything ahead. I've talked about this in previous episodes. And it's because of fear. Fear comes in many, many shapes. Many, many shapes. And usually you can't see it until after, which is why it's so dangerous to live in fear, because it's so hard to see it. But once you've experienced fear, you'll know afterwards, holy shit, that was scary. Because there's something, even if, like starting this podcast, I'll take that as an example again. I haven't done a podcast before, but I've done mistakes before. And there have been certain situations where I've been doing mistakes where I felt really bad about doing those mistakes, which made me feel fear in making mistakes. So not performing perfectly on camera and saying all of those things perfectly that I want to say on a podcast episode is it's scary. So it's always connected to something that has happened to you or something that you've learned, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. It comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. Procrastination is fear. Saying an excuse is fear. Escaping what you're supposed to do is fear. I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. I've been really addicted to scrolling on social media, back and forth, long periods, short periods. But it's because I was scared of doing the things that I told myself that I wanted to do. And you can have an idea of what you want to do, but the more you start getting into the process of trying to do those things, you will know even more what it is you actually want to do. And then everything else will become irrelevant. Everything else will become irrelevant. It's funny, huh? That fear that you once felt that was in the driver's seat had full control over you and your decisions. Now you're the one in control. You're the one knowing what it is you actually want. But that only comes from actually trying, being on the move. Being on the move. Putting one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. When you're moving, you'll learn how to walk along the way. You'll learn what a certain path feels like. And when you come into a new path that you have no idea what's to come, you'll see. Just keep walking. And you'll learn. And you'll know. Everything will come to you. So keep moving. And remember that fear is there to teach you something, there to tell you something, but don't live in it. Don't live in fear. Use it. And then don't let it bother you. Thank you for listening to this episode. It felt really good to get this out there. I hope it makes a difference for someone. It does for me, at least. So, as an ending note, I would like to make a little change to this podcast. I think instead of doing what we've been doing these few episodes so far, with writing a song that you like moving your body to. Instead, write something that you have recently learned. And that comes from you being on the move. So in the comments, write something that you've learned. In the next episode, I will read a comment of something that someone's learned. It could be anything. I'll start. Last week, I learned to make pasta pomodoro. Yeah, it's a super simple recipe. And some of you are like, oh man, how could you not know that? I haven't done it before. My wife absolutely loves pasta pomodoro, and so do I. But she has been the one doing this recipe, and I haven't tried it before. But now I got to try, and now I know, and it tastes almost as good as when my wife does it. But it's something that I've learned. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the On the Move podcast. See you next week. Ciao.